This is hard. We have two tasks here tonight. We're raising money for an incredible foundation, and in honoring Tara's wish, we're to have a good time. But at the same time, this is still very real and hard. And for us, I haven't seen the video in a while, and so that was actually wonderful and hard to see Tara speak and really lay the foundation for this foundation. But if I could begin, I would like a standing ovation to Tara and to the Miller family, if I could all, and a big, shout out. Way to go, way to go. Unbelievable. Woo! And I understand that about 50% maybe of the audience here never met Tara. And I just want to briefly say that she presented with a really unsuspicious mole on her head that was removed. She did everything right. She had the right follow-up. She also got the most aggressive and appropriate treatment. She went through new targeted therapies, new immunotherapies, and if you were to watch all of the videos, many surgeries to try to treat the brain metastasis. And from day one, you feel her spirit today. She was determined. She approached her illness with great humor, with great knowledge. She taught all of us along the journey, which I think has been really remarkable, how many people she taught and touched throughout her short journey with cancer. Despite getting really the latest advances, they worked for a while and they worked for many people, but her cancer responded and then became resistant. And to mention what Lauren said, we were in her room, she was getting treatment, and she was laying the foundation for this foundation. And she gave us really clear directions about what we were to do. And she laid a pathway for us to raise funds to support melanoma research, to advance new treatments, so that, and she knew she wasn't going to benefit from those new treatments. And she also was incredibly humble. I remember her thinking, this is not extraordinary. I was saying, this is unbelievable what you're doing, that you are thinking about all of us and others who haven't even been touched by melanoma yet, and that's what you are thinking of. And it was just extraordinary, and I remember having to say, you are unbelievable to what you're doing, and I haven't been touched by a patient the way I've been touched by your beautiful daughter and sister. Now, your community here has also been quite remarkable. When I first came here, it was my first time to Atlantic City. Now it's my fourth time, maybe my sixth time. And I can't tell you, this is one of the most important dates on my calendar to be here. I don't want to be anywhere else, and I want to give back to this amazing community. You've welcomed myself, the Abramson Cancer Center, to your community. You've been incredibly generous with your support. And as George mentioned, this community has raised more than $1 million to support melanoma research. And it was important that they fund investigators in our community because many of you get your care in Philadelphia and at Penn. But it's important to know that the Tara Miller Foundation is not only supporting innovative research at Penn at the Abramson Cancer Center, but also at the Wistar Institute, and they've partnered with the Melanoma Research Alliance to fund grants across the nation and now across the world. So your impact is really worldwide, and I think Tara would be unbelievably excited about that impact of the work. Your efforts have funded more than 15 investigators. Some of those are junior investigators who are starting their career. Some of them are here tonight. You have funded really innovative science that is beginning to transform the field. Your work has bridged the laboratory to the clinic. So how do we move discoveries faster from the laboratory to the clinic? Your philanthropy, your generosity has funded those efforts. Your research is funding innovative clinical trials. You've heard about Carl June and his innovative work with these supercharged CAR T cells. We've just treated 2 patients with melanoma, and this foundation was instrumental in getting that clinical trial opened and running, which is really an incredible feat. You are funding through Jerry Lynette's work a novel approach to DNA vaccines, a completely new way to treat melanoma. You've invested in dermatologists to figure out why would one mole become abnormal and lead to melanoma. You funded an engineer who's bringing new science and new technology to say, why do melanoma cells become resistant to these very new therapies? So the work is really paving the way for very innovative therapies. And I want to share with you, and I'm going to give this to the Millers, they don't know this, but one of the projects that you funded was to a young investigator and also to John Weary and Bob Vonderheide and a machine in immunotherapy at the Abramson Cancer Center. And the Tara Miller Foundation funded an incredibly important result that was published this past year in May in the journal Nature, which is one of the most prestigious scientific journals. And in this publication, the Tara Miller Foundation is acknowledged for the incredible support that you gave to this work. And I also want to mention, and I didn't know this until today, but that Tara gave blood specimens that were essential to this work. And so her work really lives on in the work that has been done. So this is really profound that she herself helped drive an important innovative research. This foundation is foundational in supporting this new direction. I can tell you before your applause that BMS, who's helped sponsor tonight, was here at Penn today, and many cancer centers are looking at new directions based upon this work that all of you have funded. So now a big applause. I mean, that's just incredible, the impact of what you've done. And the legacy continues. I know I'm supposed to be short. Okay, okay. The legacy continues. So this year, the Abramson Cancer Center Philly Fights, and I think Nancy's here tonight, Nancy Wolfson, but Philly Fights is our main fundraiser event for the Abramson Cancer Center. And this year, I'm the honorary physician, and the Tara Miller Foundation is the honorary person and foundation that we're honoring. So on October 28th, the entire Cancer Center is gathering to honor Tara Miller Foundation. We have John Legend and Billy Crystal as our host to rock the evening. But I just think speaks to what you've done here and speaks to the Miller family and what you've been able to do. So we feel so honored to really honor you in this way. So if we could again just raise our glass, to all of you for your hard work, and know what an impact the dollars that you raise here are having on melanoma patients and other patients. And one last thing. There are many cancer survivors in this room today. Let's toast to our survivors. Let's toast to new therapies. Let's toast to the Millers. Woo!